Your chapter in the Imaginist is so intriguing, and you have uh, this, I think, one of the prettiest images that I've ever seen just come across my desk. And the name of your chapter is
Dreamweaver.
Dreamweaver. And Dreamweaver, your quote for is, "You are the author of your own story. Write the story you want to live." So
Yes,
let's talk about your avatar in this beautiful chapter of yours. More of a, because this book is more tapping into the imagination. And
correct.
and so how did you get started on, why did you choose to write this chapter, and tell us about your avatar?
Well, I was having difficulty kind of coming up with what I wanted to really address. And Sharyn mentioned that I make people's dreams come true. And she said, "You're a dream weaver." And I thought, well, I need to take that dream weaver thought and expand on that. And so I started that. And I've I've kind of always had the ability to help other people manifest what they are trying to do in their lives, or at least get them turned in a different direction if they're going down a really negative path. And I started out as a hairdresser just out of high school. In fact, while I was still in high school, it was never my dream to do that, but it enabled me to meet so many people and tap into so many stories and so many personalities, and that's when I first kind of started to be aware of how each one of us are just one little piece of a puzzle, and we spend our whole lives meeting new people and trying to figure out where our puzzle piece fits, but only God has the picture on the box.
That's so true. That is so very true. So does your avatar have a name?
Yes, and it was actually two of my ancestors, my grandmother and my great great grandmother. And my avatar's name is Lily Rose. And those were two of my grandmothers.
That
And
is,
they were very wise women.
I love that. I have a Lily granddaughter.
Oh, we have several Lilies because my Lily, my grandmother, was such a dynamic person and such an influence in so many people's lives. And her motto was all about giving. And she had seven children, and they played a game every day called, Secret Helper. And each one of those seven children had to do a kind deed for each other every day. But if they found out who did it, it didn't count. So they'd sneak around and do something, and it created so much love in that family, and that's my heritage. That's where it's just continuing to go forth from that.
Oh, that is beautiful. So as you developed your story, I know it for just about all the authors, it was a challenge because we're used to writing differently. And
Right.
this is just taking on the full scope of the imagination and really developing something. But what I find fascinating is that every one of these fairy tale type of stories still have a life lesson that
Yes.
is being portrayed. And so when somebody picks up your chapter in this book, and they just have read, what do you want them to gain from it?
I want them to gain, well, first of all, let me just say this is my very first time ever doing this. I've never written anything for anyone other than myself, and I've never published anything, but I do a lot of counseling. And so many people have said to me over the years, "You should be a counselor." And I said, "I am a counselor." Not, there's no should. Don't
There's no
should on
shit.
yourself. I am.
I was a
um,
hairdresser, and that's how it all happened.
yes, but I think what I want people to get, all, if nothing else, is that you can change your story. If you don't like where your life is headed, if you don't like where you are, you can't just change it because you say, "I don't want to do this anymore." You have to create a new direction, and you have to unlearn some maybe really hard lessons, and you have to heal some generational things sometimes, but then you can move on. You can build a bridge and get over it, as I said in my story. And in doing that, you open up infinite possibilities for your life. There are no limits except those we set upon ourselves.
And we typically do a pretty good job of setting limits on ourselves.
Oh, don't we just? That is so true.
Uh,
The self-talk, I mean, that's something I work on daily
I
because
think
words are powerful.
all of us do. Words
Hmm.
are powerful and our thoughts are powerful. And
Very much so.
it's really important that we really watch the words that we speak, especially to ourselves, because sometimes we can be very unkind to ourselves.
More than that, yes, absolutely. I think it's easier to be hard on yourself because we all at some point in our lives hopefully have been taught to be kind, but we're not kind to ourselves, and sometimes that's the most important place.
So I noticed in just one paragraph, and I have two screens so I can, look.
Oh, cheating, huh?
Yeah. You describe Lily Rose as a courageous dreamweaver and a bold gatekeeper, and how she elegantly energetic accepted the elegantly energetic responsibility of holding the sacred space of envisioning, activating, and living intentionally to bring all that is good, wise, and deeply worthy. That is absolutely gorgeous. But
Aw.
how has she become kind of your hero?
I think that I've studied the lives of lots of my ancestors, and I think it's so important to know where we come from and what has influenced us. And in looking back and reading some of the family history stories, I've had some very courageous, very unique, wonderful ancestors. And I'm trying to feed more of that into my life now. Like when I come up with something like writing this story, for instance, that took courage for me because I've never put it out there before in writing. I've spoken with people and I've counseled people, but I've never really put my thoughts on paper. And so it definitely has been an influence in my life. And the courage, I think, comes from my heritage. And
Absolutely.
I'm very thankful that I've had those examples of very strong women and very strong men, and that there really have not been any limits to what you can do.
Beautiful. So, um, when you sat down to write, what gave you, was there something special you did to create the atmosphere to help you get, to really tune in? Because I think sometimes when we sit down to write, we can think of everything else over there and over here to do, but we need to set the kind of the stage for writing. Was there anything special that you were able to do?
Close my door. I have my
You're
90-year-old
not
dad with me
disturbed.
for the last couple of months, and it's I love everything about him, but it's like having a toddler in the house again. So I finally had to say, if this door is closed, please do not disturb. I need a few moments. If the door is open, you're welcome to come right in. But he's very distracting. So yes, my office, I don't know if Sharyn shared this with you, but we built a new home, and I had been studying feng shui for years, and I actually designed the current home that we're in from the Bagua map. So I put my fame and fortune area is my office, and my relationship area is my master bedroom, and helpful people is where all my grandkids' pictures are hanging. And it's just, this house is not only beautiful, but the first thing people say when they come in is, this just feels so good. So I created the space in the room that I write in, which is my office, for that purpose. I wanted a Zen experience that I can shut off the rest of the house and just be relaxed and feel very comfortable in the space. And that's important to me. I'm not one of those people that can just dash off anything anywhere. I don't do it at the red lights. Although some people do, and it works for them. So yay.
Uh, well, your chapter is magnificent, and we're happy that you chose to be a part of this book. And we celebrate the fact that we're 3 weeks away, really from well, actually, yeah, 3 or 4 weeks away from a really magnificent launch. and just want you to just celebrate the fact that you accomplished something pretty magnificent.
Well, I appreciate that so much. It's very humbling to
It
me,
is. Yes.
to see my name on something that I mean, I've read the other books that were written, and to even have my name or be invited to be part of this was very humbling for me.
Beautiful. Very good. Well, I've enjoyed our conversation. And so for those that watch this video, that be sure and read not just once, read twice or 3 times Jeanine's Angel.
Lily Rose.
and enjoy every moment of it.
Thank you so much. I appreciate all the help and guidance, and I'm so thrilled to be surrounded by such illustrious women.
There's a lot of them. It's beautiful.
It is. It's wonderful, and I feel very blessed.
Thank you. Thank you.